Hello, everyone. My name is Christian Batts, and this is my industry case study. My dream job is to be a performing artist, while a related job that I may have is a songwriter, and a parallel job, which is very much so still in the same industry to me anyway, is a front house engineer. I feel like this job just requires more technical research and technical background than being a performing artist. A performing artist is a professional who uses their artistic talents to entertain and engage audiences. So this is anywhere from art actors to comedians, dancers. Any performer is a performing artist. And so those performing artists use their skills and they tell their stories. And that's something that I'm actually very passionate about myself, something that I myself have been able to do when I write my poems, when I do performing in front of others, the times that I was in dance company in college. So I've had some experience in this field, and that is why I feel like I'm working towards that dream. Some of the skills that are required: stage presence, effective communication, because you have to communicate with not only your bandmates or those on stage with you, but you have to communicate with the front house engineer, other artists that you may be working with. Creative problem solving, scheduling, those type of things are very much so important in this particular job field. As an artist, you may be asked to collaborate with other artists. It's very much so part of your job to entertain audiences, do live shows. I would love to do a live show in a very big venue one day. That is something that I dream of. Though I have done that in college. In the dance company I was part of. So I'm going a different route as far as what type of performing artist that I would be. So performing artists are entertainers and they come from different backgrounds. And again, they can be an artist, a dancer, comedian, a musician. Any of those type of things will suffice. So my why, I've already talked about this a little bit. I want to share my art with others and I want to relate to them in some form or fashion. Watching other artists that I have admired perform and control a crowd has been something that inspired me the most to be a performing artist. The way that they dedicate themselves and their artistic abilities, those things inspired me to be the artist that I am now and to continue in my own endeavors and push the envelope and really and truly work hard at it. Um, so, next thing, right, is a songwriter, which I do write my own songs already. So I could see myself actually working in this field before I actually make it to being a big performing artist, if that makes sense. Songwriters compose the words or the music or both for songs. The skills that are required, obviously, is writing. Being able to read music is a plus. Being able to play guitar, piano, and knowing a little bit about music theory. There is no salary exactly for or one set salary for songwriters. Songwriters actually earn royalties based on how well a song does that they've been put on. So when I have written or done features for others, depending on how well that song does, depends on how much money that I make. And it's really hard to make a lot of money if you don't get a whole lot of streams or sell a lot of records. That's also a thing now. So that is that. So do I have these things? Oh, most certainly I have these skills. Like I said, this is something that I have done myself and been writing for a long time. And so I feel like if I do anything else, I will be a songwriter. Pharrell Williams is someone that I have looked up to because he is a well known producer. Um, he is responsible for a lot of famous hits that many of us sing, and we don't realize that it was him on the background writing those lyrics. And that's what makes it fun, is like not being at the forefront. My favorite song by him is Happy. It's a fresh and peppy song, and he actually performed this song. He actually recorded and did the video and everything, and so it made it a lot more personable. And that is part of why I actually want to be a performing artist, so I can perform my songs, and so people can feel what it is that I'm relaying. NPR Fresh or Revolt called him the jack of all trades because he can produce, write, and perform music. Let's see, he has great collaboration skills. Again, like I said, he can produce a beat or he can write lyrics. He talks about how he is empathic, and so knowing that his music makes others feel a certain way is important to him. And I can attest to being an empath as well, and so I do strive to make music that can make people or people can feel in their souls. I do want to be able to produce and write music for others. I think that's a very important skill to have in this industry, regardless of which way you decide to go. All right. The next career is a front of house engineer, which I have just learned about, and I've been interested in since I've learned about it. So when I go to concerts or go to places and there is a sound system and performance and mics and monitors, I'm looking around to see how these things work. So the front of house engineer is responsible for mixing the sound at a concert or any type of venue. Still the music industry again, but there's a technical side to things that as a performing artist you don't have to know. But it is important to know. And I feel like as an independent artist, as myself, it's important to learn these things. Um, this particular job does require a certification and hands-on experience. So you can't just go out there and say, "Hey, I want to be a sound engineer." Like, no. So some of those skills include technical problem solving, communication, attention to detail, creativity, and organizational skills, which is very important. My degree will help me actually build these skills, so I have no doubt in my mind that I will be able to obtain these skills by the time I graduate and be able to go out there and work this type of job if that's what I choose to do. Their salary is $52,429 at the moment, which that that's a nice set lump sum, a little more stable than being a songwriter because you are guaranteed this type of money. So someone that I found, because I don't know, I never really looked into um, front of house engineers, is Tony Blanc. And some of the people that he's worked with, I've never heard of, like Gyfin. He did his first tour. Paul McCartney during COVID, and then Marshall Hain. He did a European and UK tour. He also has his own website, which has his resume and everything, which I thought was really cool, so that you can learn more about him. He is a freelance engineer, so he is for hire. He's been in the industry for 40 plus years, which I believe gives him a big upper hand in, knowing certain things and how to get jobs. He's, like, again, worked with a long list of artists, and he has a passion for what he does. When I heard him speak about what he was doing with other artists on the YouTube that I found, he very much so, like, he knows his stuff. He knows what he's talking about. And so his collaboration and technical skills are on point, and he very much so, again, knows what he's talking about. So this is the conclusion of my presentation today. As I've said, I want to be a performing artist, but I have no problem with stepping into other career paths to get me to my path, because a lot of times we do actually end up doing certain things before we get to the actual big thing that we want to do. So thank you. That is my time. Have a great one.